Stop trying to get rich with trading. Get better with Fractal Structure. Now, if you haven't already been through the previous videos in this playlist, I do suggest you go and watch the first few videos. It's going to make you understand how we draw up that fractal structure much better. I'll leave them linked above now for you to go through the first video in this playlist. So today we're going to look at how you can apply the use of the fractal structure when we're looking for our trade entries. We're going to use this with our higher time frame today of the 4-hour time frame of the pound US dollar. And then we'll most probably pop down to a 15 or 30 minute to look for that entry out. Okay, how we're going to use this with the trend. So we need to first identify, okay, the bias in the chart and the trend direction. Now, the way we do this, we'll use market structure. Okay, so we're looking at general structure in the market here. And if you're not sure on how to apply your market structure, there is a full playlist in this channel. I will leave a link above now if you wish to go and watch that after this video. It's a great playlist for you to understand how you can apply market structure correctly. So what we need to look at is, where do we see the market shifting? Well, first we can identify how the market is being bullish. Okay, we've been quite bullish to the upside, and then we've shifted back bearish. So we can see how the market has gone from a move to the upside, and eventually we've broken down. Now, obviously, we can see current price has gone back up quite strong, and we reverse structure once again. But what we need to understand is we're looking for those optimal areas to take a trade. Once I've identified this break of structure to the downside, we have a bearish bias. And then we have a pullback. We hold this area of imbalance. Now, in the previous video, you would have seen that we had here a fractal swing. The market came back in and continued lower. Now, what we're going to look at today is how we can look at taking entries on the lower time frames. We then have another continuation to downside. Now, using the full swing here, what we're going to do, we're going to mark out our area of supply. Now, if you want to learn supply and demand in more detail, there is a playlist again in this channel, which goes through about supply and demand. I'll leave that linked above now. But basically, we're looking to mark out our last area of supply. There's my area of supply that I'm going to mark. And you can see that the market breaks out, pulls back up into that supply. Now, what we're going to do once we have this, we apply the fractal structure, not on this time frame. We apply it to the lower time frame when we're looking for entry out of the higher time frame area of supply and demand. Now, this type of trading is key to understanding how to pick up those high risk reward trades. Now, it may look like I'm just cherry picking here, but I'm actually just going through current price. And we'll perhaps look at this previous one went through in the previous video as well, how you could use the same structure. But understanding, okay, once we see this pullback to our area of supply, this is when we're going to start looking at that continuation to that next week low in the market. So we zoom in here. You need to be able to understand how to mark up your structures correctly. You need to be able to understand how to mark up your supply and demand zones correctly. Okay, everything comes together with trading. Stop trying to get rich with trading. Get better and start going through the playlists in this channel to understand the concepts correctly. So once we see price pulling back here, we can identify, okay, ahead of time, we can see price has come back down, broken structure once again, okay, and then since reversed and we went higher. So this point in time, we never broke lower. So then you can see the market from here has broken structure to the upside. And since then, we continue to move higher quite strongly. Let's look at this area we can find a trade. I'm going to show you how you can easily increase your risk to reward. If you're taking what we call a set and forget strategy entry, and this is all within the playlist within the channel, we then look for price to target that low. And we've got a 1.85 risk to reward there. Not the best risk to reward. Whenever you're trading, you want to have at least a 2-to-1 risk to reward to be in your favor. Now, if you struggle with your supply and demand, if you struggle with your trading, taking trades in this and understanding correct risk money management, then what I do suggest right now is checking out the Profit Per Trade workshop. Okay, it goes through all the concepts you need to understand. It's a great foundation for you to start. And if you want to check that out, there'll be a link above now, and I'll leave a link in the description of this video. So when we see price coming back into this area, what we're going to do now instead is go down to the lower time frames. Let's go to a 30-minute. So let's find that area. Okay, so we can see where price has come to this low and shifted back to the upside. Now, understanding our fractal structure here, and again, if you haven't seen that first video in this playlist, This is where you really need to go back, watch it, understand the concept of how we apply it. I will quickly go through now, marking up that fractal structure from this low, going to this high, where we can start looking for trades. Hey traders, we'll go back to the video in just a moment, but I wanted to give you a gift for hanging out with me today. I want to give you access to my Telegram community. This trading community will share my chart markups and give you access to my trading strategy. But it's more than just a community. You're going to have some actionable steps to accelerate your growth with hanging out with other like-minded traders, all looking to improve their trading. And it's free as my gift to you. So just hit the link above now to join the Telegram community. Now back to the video. So our last break to downside was this wick here to downside. Now, when we're using a fractal structure, we don't care about the close of the candle. We just want to see that wick through, okay, even in live conditions. At this point, my last high is going to be here. We break through here to the upside, we pull back, and our fractal continues to push higher. We have a new fractal low here. We then continue to push higher, a new fractal low, continue higher. We then have a new fractal low. And then finally, we have another push through here, and we have a new fractal low. Now, at this point, we can see we have a fractal reversal. So let me just remove all this off. Let me go through now with a line. So you can identify here, and let's change that to a dashed line. Right, so we can see that the market wicks through to this high. After this point, we create a new fractal high here. We push through again to the upside. And then we have another fractal high we push through. We have another fractal high that we push through. And we have another fractal high here that eventually we've pushed through. Now at this last swing high, okay, we can mark off our fractal low. This is our fractal low, which in fact becomes my reversal point. So right here, we reverse the market. Now if I zoom into this area, you'll see that when we see this reversal, this is where you start looking to mark up your area of supply. Okay, and you'll be looking for an entry out of that supply to then look to target, okay, this 4-hour low. Now, there's one thing I want you to look at this chart. Perhaps just take a moment to look at this chart. Leave a comment below and tell me if you got it right straight away, why this is not a great time to take a trade. Yes, we'll come up, we'll pull back nicely. We've seen the fractal reversal, but there's something that goes against this trade. Now, if you've seen what it is already and you get this right, just let me know down below that you got it right. Okay, the reason we wouldn't take this trade is because we haven't yet come into supply. We need to see price come into that supply to pick up those orders. Now, the 4-hour supply that I've got marked here. So at this point, let's say that you didn't see that and you've taken a trade out of this area based on that candle. You've taken a losing trade. Okay, so you've got a minus. Let me just mark this out. We've got a -1. In fact, let me just do this with, let's just grab a text. Okay, let's make this as a -1. Sorry, -2%. Okay, so we're risking 2% per trade. And we've got a -2%. Let's just put that up here. Right, so we've got a -2% on that trade. You didn't realize that it hadn't gone into supply. You pulled the trigger and you had a losing trade. You know, you're looking for the market to run to that low. Now your risk to reward, okay, compared to we saw on the 4-hour entry, look, we've got a nearly 12-to-1 risk to reward there. So yeah, you're going to look to take these trades because your risk to reward is so much higher. Now, unfortunately, this trade didn't work out. We had a -2. Now, after this, we can identify quite quickly. Let me just mark this off this low. And let's grab this. We have another break of fractal structure to the upside. This then becomes my fractal low again. And you can see that the market again straight away reverses. But this time, we push up into the supply. There's your difference, okay? When you look at that as a setup and you look at this as a setup, you need to be patient, okay? Stop trying to get rich with trading. Get better, become patient, use fractal structure, use supply and demand, use market structure, everything I teach in this channel, okay? And again, if you want to take it further, there is that Profit Trade workshop all about supply and demand, okay? And then there's a trading coaching experience if you want to take it even more further than that. So when we see this fractal structure reversal, once again, we can mark up our area of supply. There's our area of supply. And again, we look for our entry, stop at the high, plus a few pips, looking to run the low. And we've then got a trade around about 8.5. Okay. So what we've then got now is, if I just double this up, clone it. So over here, we've now got a winning trade. We've gone from having a losing trade of -2% if you've taken this trade to the next trade setup you've taken. We've now got basically a 17. So we've got a plus 17%. Why? Because if we've got a 2% trade here, we risked, okay, we're -2 in the first trade. This trade, 2%, that's going to be 16 plus the half, 17%. So overall, you've made a 15% profit just by taking this one trade for this 4-hour direction. You've gone with the 4-hour. You've got to go with the higher time frames first. Make sure you go in line with the higher time frames. Then we're looking for this fractal reversal. Entry, okay, target. That is how you can start to make these high risk reward trades. Now, 15%, that's you done for the month. Okay, so you don't need to be looking for those high profits, looking to get rich with trading. Just get better, make sure you understand the concepts, take your time, become patient, and things will become better for you. So like I said, if you haven't seen the first 2 videos in this playlist, you really need to go through and watch them, at least after this video if you've watched this one and you haven't watched those 2, because it'll teach you how to mark up the structure of the fractals, okay, understanding how you look at the fractal structure. And it's also going to give you how we looked at the previous move. If I go back to the 4-hour here, where we looked at a previous move here on the 4-hour, on the previous video, you'll see how we looked at this previous swing as understanding, okay, the use of our fractal structure on this 4-hour time frame. So we had a swing structure and our fractal structure where we can look for an entry. So that's how we look at combining fractal structure. Now, if you want to check out that profit per trade workshop, okay, there'll be a link popping up now for you to go through and check that out. Otherwise, check out the next video in this playlist. If there isn't a video already out, then go through and watch one of the playlists I mentioned throughout the video.